Hello, welcome back to the Villa View. It's time for a match preview for Villa's game at home to Barnsley, Saturday, 3 p.m.
So, Dan, we're playing Barnsley at home.
At 3 p.m.
At 3 p.m. It's, I'm so used to saying this is a massive game for Villa. It doesn't, this, with all due respect to Barnsley, doesn't feel in that same kind of vein where we were going against playoff contender after playoff contender in December. Now, we look at Barnsley, who are 19th in the division. We beat them 3-0 earlier in the year, and you got to fancy Villa for this one, right?
I think when we were playing them in the reverse fixtures, it was just when we started to get a bit of momentum and get a good run going. I think this was the first game. In fact, we'd only won one game all season.
It's our second win, yeah.
And then we needed a win, and we got one against Barnsley. So it's a good chance to keep the positive momentum. Obviously, in general, except for the Sheffield Wednesday game, we've been very good at home, so it's a chance to keep the good home run going as well. Obviously, we've got a few players in form, the likes of Hogan, Grealish and Snodgrass. It's a chance for them to make a statement at Villa Park. I mean, I always look forward to it, but when you come off the back of 3 wins, although it's not necessarily a big game because it's against Barnsley, it's an important game and a chance to make it 4 wins in a row, maybe a chance of 4 clean sheets in a row.
Yes, certainly an important game. It's hard to pick a game that isn't important, isn't it? When you're challenging for an automatic place, or at least to stay within the playoff pack, every game's an important game. And and like you say, when you're starting to see some informed players really come to the fore now, with Hogan and Snodgrass linking up. How important do you think those guys are going to be on Saturday? I
mean, you've said in the podcast that if Snodgrass is playing to top form, you think Hogan's going to get a few goals. Yeah. This weekend, he's had a couple of headers in the last few games. It'd be really nice to see him go on a run, but I can't imagine Barnsley. I mean, Barnsley came actually and did a job on us last year. Got a 3-1 win when we were on a real bad run. But I remember them being up there that last season. They're not the same team this time round. I mean, we've gone and picked 2 of their best players off them a year ago in Horahan and Bree. Obviously, we don't see much of Bree nowadays, but we took their captain and their linchpin away from them. So you feel a bit sorry for Heckingbottom because he got a decent team together and was making a good fist of the Championship. On the day, anyone in the Championship can beat anyone, so we'll have to be on our guard and at our best. But when you're obviously on a run of winning games, you just fancy us to win, and I'm no different. I fancy us to win this weekend. Yeah,
I've been looking at Barnsley. Their form, they've won 1 in the last 5, and that was away at Sunderland, who are obviously bottom at the moment. So
rotten.
They've not had a good time, but though they did play a spirited draw at home to Wolves the other day. Got a 0-0 with Wolves, which is a good result by their standards. But coming up to Villa Park, or coming down to Villa Park from Barnsley, they're missing a couple of key players, aren't they? Their central midfield pairing is both out, Joe Williams and Garrett Gardner.
Oh, really? I knew Gardner was out, obviously, but
Joe Williams, I believe, is suspended. And I just the strength of Villa's complete midfield, I could see us running riot in the midfield there.
Yeah, I mean, Gardner got man of the match, didn't he, last time out? Although in general, I've seen pretty bad reviews of his time at Barnsley so far. But obviously, if you're missing 2 central midfield players, you've got to reorganise, and not all squads are blessed with the same depth in this league that we've got. So it's gonna disrupt them, and you think it can only be a good thing for Villa. So yeah, pleasing for them to obviously have 2 players missing, but even if they weren't, I'd expect us to win this game.
Their danger man, Tom Bradshaw, don't know an awful lot about him. He's got
at Warsaw
8 goals so far this campaign, so they're going to be looking to get the ball to him. But with John Terry back as well, you kind of expect John Terry and James Chester as well to have the matching of any central forwards. Yeah,
I mean, Chester, to be fair, doesn't get anywhere near the praise he deserves. He suffers by the fact that he's just so good every week and has been so consistent since he's been here. Bradshaw's a bit of a sniffer. Whenever I've seen him play or score, he likes a tap in. He's reasonably good in the air, even though he's not the biggest. He did well at Warsaw. I know Matt Lynch is a big fan of Tom Bradshaw. I know he wanted Villa to sign him 18 months ago when Barnsley did sign him. I know Lynch was keen on getting him in, and he knows he's Warsaw because he's from that area. So you'd expect Chester and Terry to have a relatively comfortable day, but then last season they came and did a job. As I say, it's not the same team, but anything can happen.
Yeah, it's a banana skin. Would you call it banana skin?
I don't know whether it's a banana skin. If anything less than a win won't be tolerated, you know, if come 5 o'clock on Saturday we haven't won, you know there'll be boos round the ground. So it's not. I don't know whether it is a banana skin, but it's one you expect us to win, and if we don't win, there'll be many, many disappointed Villa fans on Saturday.
Do you think that's a disrespectful thing to say? A banana skin?
No, not really. You look at their resources compared to ours. You'd expect Villa to be relatively comfortable against Barnsley. I like Heckingbottom as a manager. I think he's done a good job there, and obviously he can't help clubs coming along and poaching players. They've just had new owners, haven't they? Come in, whether that'll galvanise them. I don't know how much that the dressing room worries about things like that, or how much they can get up for things just because they've got a new owner. I'm not sure it makes that much difference unless you're suddenly getting new players in, so it'll be interesting. Yeah,
I was watching Tykes TV earlier on, the Barnsley fan channel. Good job, guys, doing that. Very, very funny, as well as getting some information as well.
Just like us, Tom.
Yeah, exactly. Better looking than us.
Steady.
And they were talking about the transfer policy, and I think they've got 3 targets, but nothing as yet. And looking at their squad, these guys that know Barnsley a lot better than I do were talking about how thin they are at the moment, and yet they still haven't seen any new faces. They've seen a couple of players go out on loan, and that's worrying them coming to Villa Park, whereas we're getting our players back now. I just feel like the tide is turning on both sides. For Villa, all the positives, and Barnsley, all the negatives.
Well, they've won 6 games, the same amount that we've lost, so they're having a tough time. I mean, you think about the bad start Bolton had. They were rock bottom on about 3 points or 4 points for a while. Mm-hmm. They're only 2 points off Barnsley now, so they're in a relegation fight, so maybe that plays a part. Maybe they're going to end up being scrapping for their lives, but probably at this stage in January they're not thinking about that kind of thing yet. Yeah,
their local journalists are saying if Barnsley stay up this year, that's an achievement, and that shows you. I mean, Villa fans want automatic promotion, but at least a playoff berth. So you're talking about 2 different spectrums here of football club.
Yeah, and Barnsley were fighting for the playoffs 12 months ago. I mean, that's why their players got picked off, because they were doing so well. Yeah. So things change, don't they?
Absolutely.
Within 12 months.
What do you see the Villa lineup for Saturday?
I think Whelan will be out. It depends very much whether Jedinak's back. Obviously, at the point of recording, we haven't seen the press conference. It hasn't happened yet, so we don't know the injury situation. I presume if Jedinak's back, he'll play. But I think Bjarnason probably deserves a start in that defensive midfield and command role, because I think he did very well in the second half against Forest. But the rest of the team, it's a no-brainer to keep it the same. I guess there'll just be question marks over that one position.
Yeah, I think. Again, not wanting to disrespect Barnsley, but Bjarnason, I think this would be a good game for him. I don't
give him a chance.
I don't think he'll find himself under too much pressure, especially with the players that he's got in front of him for Villa. So I feel like this is a good game for him to kind of get his feet under the table and maybe show a little bit more about what he can do. I don't know if he was nervous in previous games where I've seen him where
he's not nervous on Saturday.
Well, exactly, yeah, but I guess he was thrown in there. Maybe he didn't have time to think about it. But yeah, I'd like to see him play a full game, be a confident player, because I'm still not quite sold on Bjarnason. But I think going up against Barnsley, that's one that he could maybe take that opportunity.
I mean, if he's not getting a chance now when he's coming in at a good second half, he's come on the previous game in the league and scored, then he's never going to get a chance. He'll be disappointed with how his career's gone with Villa so far. He won't have envisaged it going as badly as it has, but there's a chance for him to put it right now and maybe make the place his own, because Whelan's legs aren't what they were even from at the start of the season. You can tell he's played a lot of games and he's probably a bit tired, Whelan, and he's picked up an injury anyway. Jednak can't stay fit this season, so there's that chance. Maybe when we sign Twanzebe, he'll play there, but there's a chance now for Bjarnason to stake a claim and keep himself in the side. You've seen previously, Adoma was out of the picture and he made that spot his own when he came in, and it could be the same for Bjarnason now to do that.
What's your score prediction then?
I'm going to go for 3-1 to Villa. I fancy us to score goals at the moment with our form players that we talked about earlier. The run of clean sheets could quite easily go on, but we are going to concede at some point, so I expect Barnsley to get a consolation. I'll go for first goal scorer. I'll go with Hogan again.
Okay, we're going pretty.
What about you?
Going pretty close. Obviously, we will concede at some point. It's not going to be on Saturday. I think we're going to win 3-0, and I think we'll be 3-0 up by about 65 minutes, and then we'll take the edge off. Grealish to notch first. I was going to go Hogan, but I wanted to vary it up a little bit.
I've changed your mind for you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You do that a lot. You put the pressure on.
Coming out with it, I don't like it when I come out with these confident. Oh, we're going to win 3-1. We're going to win 3-0 in the night.
By 65 minutes.
I feel a bit antsy about doing it. I should stay conservative because there's been previous games where I've stayed conservative, and that's actually what's happened. But at least we've won. That's
the beauty of football.
Yeah.
I mean, literally, you saying we're going to win 3-1 makes no difference.
Well, it makes me look silly if it doesn't happen. And then I've noticed this in the comments. In the YouTube comments, you get the opposition fans suddenly come in and go 3-1.
Yeah. Well,
I don't want that.
Well, I do. 3-0, 65 minutes.
You're
done
used
and
to
dusted.
being a clown.
Fair enough. Is that time to finish it?
Yeah. I think that's it, isn't it, for the match preview? Thanks very much for tuning in for this more casual preview. Obviously, sitting here, we've just done a podcast and we probably need to get away, so it's a bit more rushed than usual, but we've tried to make a good job of it. If you have liked this video, then click on the big thumbs up and let us know that you have liked it. Comment below with your score prediction so that if we're wrong, we're not the only ones that look silly. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, then if you could do that with your post notifications on, that really helps the channel grow. And thanks ever so much for all the support that you give us on all platforms. It is very much appreciated. There'll be fan cams on Saturday after the Barnsley game, so come down to the usual spot and have your say, and we'll listen to what you have to say, and hopefully we'll be talking about Villa getting 3 points on Saturday against Barnsley. Also, if you haven't tuned into the podcast, we did it a bit later this week. That's there for all your enjoyment and entertainment.
Or if you want to shout at it a little bit.
Yeah, all kinds of things you can do with the podcast. Listen to it on audio, just watch it on a video. You can do either. Stick with the channel, stick with the Villa, up the Villa.
Up the Villa.
Christ, that outro. If you enjoyed that video, why not watch another? Click the video choices on screen now to go and watch them in full. Be sure to subscribe to the channel by clicking our logo there on the left. Easy peasy.